Hi, guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Anime Podcasters. I'm drawing this out because this is going to be a very short episode, so we're making time push wherever we can. I'm your host, Hotshot Ginger, and with me I have my less than fabulous host, JaianMusic. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing well, Hotshot. Very happy to be here with you. Very happy to just have a regular, easygoing, chill podcast. Just the two of us. Old school. 109. It's old school today.
We've been bringing in a lot of guest guys lately. Like we'll do an episode where it's just us, and then like maybe it'll be us and Kyo. Like Kyo's been on a lot more lately. Or we've had Azric. We just had Dimitri. 100. We've actually been getting a lot more people joining us for.
Yes, so, and we already have a guest ideas lined up for the next few ones. I'm looking at a few people. So guests are. I think it's fun because I love talking to you, but having a new person in the dynamic always makes it more interesting.
I like talking to you, but you're not interesting enough, so we need another person to help carry us.
I mean, take it how you want to take it, but that is not what I said.
It's not what you said, but it's what you meant. It's okay. I get it. I'm not interesting. All right. So anyway, guys, what we're doing today is, superheroes, anime heroes, just heroes in general. Everyone has a start to things, whether it's the first time they don the mask, the first move or technique they learn. So what we're doing today is we're going into our origin episode of anime. So like us growing up, our experience with anime when we were kids, and what actually got us into even doing a podcast like this in the first place. So basically everything that we dealt with as a kid and how our tastes have evolved since then. So it's just going to be very, very chill, very open, and just where did we start kind of thing. You guys didn't ask for it, but we thought about it, so that's what we're doing.
Very much so. Today, for our origins, I think we just should start with the simple. What was the first anime you ever watched? Hotshot. What was the first anime that you watched? Doesn't mean you got into anime because of it, but what was the first sighting of anime in the young Ginger life?
It's kind of confusing for me actually, because so how I kept saying that I'm a Digimon kid, but yes. I also grew up with Pokemon, so it's kind of both because I never actually saw anime as it was airing. I always had to wait till it was home video kind of thing. And right. When I was a kid, Digimon by that time Digimon's second movie was out, where it was the second generation starting, and Pokemon was also coming out on home cassettes, where it was the Indigo League just coming up on VHS. So I think my first one, I think I watched Pokemon before I watched Digimon, just because of that's what I had more access to when I was growing up, because I only ever had that one tape of Digimon, but I watched it repeatedly. So it's really Digimon and Pokemon, because I legitimately cannot remember which one was first.
I am very much in the same vein, except for me, it was all in French. I was in France when I saw my first anime, where I was born, and I really, really think it was Pokemon. I remember watching Teletoon in France with Ash and Pikachu, and it was that very first episode of Pokemon where Ash decides to become a Pokemon trainer, I guess, and then he goes on he starts out his adventure, and I feel what I remember so clearly was that very first episode at the end of it, where Ash has a Pokedex, and then he looks up into the sky, and there's this bird, and the Pokedex can't read what the bird is, what kind of Pokemon it is. Apparently it's extremely rare, as a way to get us even more excited for what's to follow. So for sure that, and then Digimon piled up on top of it. That was definitely my origin, very first anime. I didn't watch any other anime for a good while after that one, though.
So for the longest time, just because obviously if you're a kid and you're the first one to see it and that kind of thing, and someone who isn't versed in that knowledge isn't gonna imply this on you, I didn't know it was called an anime. I just thought it was another cartoon, and I loved cartoons when I was a kid, so I just kept watching it. And then I found out that Pokemon was based off the games, the Game Boy games that my stepbrother had. My stepbrother had the special yellow edition, and so it was only that I was able to play, and that's what got me into the games in the first place. Which I got more into than the shows growing up. But I didn't really call Digimon or Pokemon anime for a really long time. The first show I actually called an anime was Naruto.
I think I'm on the same wavelength as you.
Your first like shonen was Naruto?
No, it was Dragon Ball actually.
Okay.
Elementary school, I was very much into Dragon Ball. Oh my gosh, yeah, like not Z, Dragon Ball, and then Z showed up, and then I got into GT. That whole
okay. Sorry, yeah, I'll hold it. Go ahead.
No, for sure. That whole like Dragon Ball universe was very much my elementary school and junior high school universe. I loved it. I would read the manga. I would go to the library and I would pick up the manga, and I would even take the time to reorder the manga properly in the library, because what happened was that people would just like rent these mangas of the Namek Saga and put it over there. So I ordered them, and then oh man, I would just read those mangas for hours and hours, and just I loved Dragon Ball. Those mangas were in French as well, but I got into the video games for Budokai, Budokai Tenkaichi, all of those. Oh, dude, I just want to play right now the more I think about it. But like Dragon Ball was definitely like the opening gateway to my enjoyment for anime. But you was way more Naruto, is what you're saying.
Okay, let me backtrack a little bit, because you just sparked something in my memory. So like I said, growing up, I didn't really watch any animes like when they were airing. It was always home video things. I actually had an original Dragon Ball home video too, called Curse of the Blood Rubies, I think, and it covered a lot of ground. It covered sorry, brain fart. It covered Bulma meeting Goku, then Oolong coming along, meeting Master Roshi, meeting up with Yamcha, meeting the Ox King. Pilaf, Mai, and his group were there along the ride, and then eventually, like all seven balls were coming together. So, I mean, that was like my exposure to Dragon Ball, and I loved it because I loved honestly how idiotic Goku was, and I loved the power pole. That was probably my favorite part of it. Because this was before I was like into the dirty side, so I didn't really like laugh at the dirty jokes, like that kind of thing. And original Dragon Ball is plentiful of them. But actually, in that VHS, Yamcha, I think, was my favorite character, just because of like the bandit aesthetic and everything about him. Like, I liked him when he was a boss. He was a badass. He was a boss then. He was a badass in Dragon Ball.
You couldn't go wrong with him.
And then just got pissed on Z. But anyway. But
yeah, that's a whole...
But,
go ahead, sorry.
But the anime I actually grew up with, like the first one I actually saw on airing on Toonami and everything, and like I actually grew up with, was Naruto.
I like definitely had that too. When I met Ben, we were in elementary school. Ben is a good friend that's been on the podcast many times. You can go check out some episodes we did with him. He's my very good friend in Canada. And I met Ben. I was in the 5th grade, and he was this kid who basically, if you wanted to catch a rare Pokemon, you would bring your Game Boy over to Ben, and by the end of lunch hour, he would have catch the Pokemon for you. He was like this super talented kid with like video games and anime. And from the get-go, I was like, okay, I gotta be friends with this guy. And then come around 7th grade, I get put in the same classes, and I'm like, hey, wait, you're the Game Boy guy. And we started talking, and he mentioned Naruto to me. And I think I was flipping through channels on White TV, and then I've said this story many times, but the first time I saw Naruto was Rock Lee versus Gaara. And instantly was hooked by that show. Really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I feel like I'm skipping the whole Yu-Gi-Oh part of my childhood, because Yu-Gi-Oh also had a humongous impact on me when I was in elementary school, and especially Yu-Gi-Oh GX when I was 12, 13, 11 years old, that age range. Yu-Gi-Oh GX, like I thought I was Jade and Yugi, you know what I mean? I thought it was the coolest thing ever. I was such a fan of that series. I thought it was so cool that you could study dual monsters. That was the coolest thing to me. I couldn't believe it. I literally took all my cards. Wait, I just want to finish this. Okay. I took all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I would put them in a binder, and I would rank my best ones as Obelisk Blues, my least favorite ones as Slifer Reds, and I would put I might use these ones in my Raw Yellow. I swear, I was so geeked out. I would go play, I would go to dueling competitions and stuff with other people, tag team dueling matches. Dude, I was so involved. It was ridiculous.
Okay, I'm gonna jump into trading cards and stuff like that here in a minute too, because
sure.
you just sparked that. But just hearing how much of like GX meant to you, because as a kid, like I've changed out of this, and I'm a little sad about it, but at the same time, it's understandable. But when I was a kid, my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh was GX, but I found that out like after I found Naruto and everything else. But my favorite one was Jaden, because I loved his elemental hero decks, because I loved element powers and I love superheroes.
Oh, dude.
But
spent so much money on those booster packs, on those Jin and Yuki booster packs.
I had my mom spend so much money. I feel bad now. But what I was going to bring up to you was, as much as Yu-Gi-Oh! GX means to you, I'm surprised that only recently you uploaded a cover of Game On.
I was eyeing doing that cover for the longest time. And then it just hit me that I didn't do it. And I feel like for the channel, this is maybe a bit of like side talk, but I'm going to start doing more opening covers. Those,
okay.
Like strategically speaking, I think those make more sense because they are more popular. But yeah, Game On was, I can't believe I didn't do a cover that one yet. It was something in the back of my mind for the longest time, but I finally did it, and it felt so right. I was playing around with the melody and stuff, and then when I got to that guitar solo part, I started writing down triplets. I'm like, that's literally the guitar solo on piano. I was very happy with myself, for sure.
Yeah, I really just wanted to bring it up because like I might have been at work, I might have been playing something, I honestly don't remember, but I just saw it drop and I'm like, wait, has he not yet? What the fuck? And then
actually, dude, that's my first Yu-Gi-Oh cover ever.
Okay, I didn't admittedly I didn't dive that deep, but I did look on your channel. I'm like, how the fuck did he not? I could have sworn that he, like, I was just thinking like stuff like that, like constantly as I was scrolling through, and I'm like, huh, well, okay then. I was just really really surprised, because like every time we talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, and believe it or not, we tend to do that fairly often, it seems. GX like always comes up as your favorite, and so I was just surprised, especially like the music and everything in there. So I was just surprised you hadn't done anything with it yet.
No, I understand. I was gonna say something else about Yu-Gi-Oh. No, I didn't want to say Yu-Gi-Oh. I wanted to say back when I was younger, when I was in the whole Pokemon and Digimon phase, Beyblade also had a quick stint in my life. Like, I was a big fan of Beyblade at one point. I mentioned this in our Beyblade episode. Yeah, go ahead.
Beyblade lasted in my childhood for as long as the Beyblade battle, and that's really about it. It like I knew about it, and I did know what Beyblades were. Like, I actually had real Beyblades that honestly I preferred to the show. But it's just like Beyblade or Bakugan or Neopets or like anything like that. Like, that feels like a copy paste kind of thing. Like the Sonic X era anime that was coming out, like just with toys. I just never really got into any of them. Like Sonic X I did, but he's not about toy. But like Bakugan and Beyblade, I think Dino Blasters or Dino Masters, I can't remember, but like all the ones like that were coming out, I wasn't getting into. The only one that was on that channel that I was getting into was Pokemon and Sonic X.
I want to get a little bit into Sonic X with you, but just to wrap up on Beyblade.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was such a fan of the show because this one time, I said this on the Beyblade episode, but I want to say this story because I love it. I was walking to school, and I remember seeing a huge crowd, and I was like, what's going on? Why are all these people accumulated here? Who's getting punched in the face right now? You know, like, it's got to be a brawl. There's no way. And I make my way through the crowd, and in the middle, bro, small arena, 2 people just playing Beyblade. And I was like, what is that? I need 20 of those. And man, when I moved to Canada, I bought so many Beyblades. I got it so invested. I would get different attack and defense rings, and I would like look it up and strategize on like how to use that. But elementary school was so cool because of the Beyblade. Like, for sure, a big fan. But Sonic X, I watched a couple of episodes here and there, but it never really pierced in my childhood, I would say. But you watched that like very early on?
I watched that very early on, and I watched a lot of it, but obviously, like, we know bigger Sonic fans, like in our friend group and everything. Like, Kyo lived and breathed Sonic stuff, so I imagine he'd have a lot to say on it. But Sonic X grabbed my attention because I knew Sonic. I played the original Sonic, and Sonic Heroes was one of my favorite games at the time. Come at me, haters, I don't care. But but with it being Sonic X, it was just like, it was the first time that I saw a property I knew somewhere else that had become an anime. So it just kind of drew me to it. And I loved like Sonic's attitude. I loved Tails when I was a kid. When I got a little older, like teenage years, I started to think he was just like a whiny little bitch. And now that I'm older, I love Tails again, just because I actually know what kind of character he is. Sonic X is where I fell in love with Rouge, so there's that. And it just had like a whole bunch of things thrown at me that I liked, but it didn't have enough for me to like, this is my new favorite show of all time, like that kind of thing. Because for a long time, that was Naruto. Because with Naruto, I would kind of have to sneak watching it just because like it wouldn't come on till late at night on Toonami. So it would always be at like 11 or 11:30 or something like that. So I would always have to like sneak out of my room to watch it and like wait till whoever I was with at the time was asleep, like be it my mom or my stepdad or my dad or whatever. So I would always try to sneak out and watch it. But what I remember vividly about Naruto, because this is how crazy I was about the show, when the finale of the show was coming on, meaning the retrieval of Sasuke arc, I went over to my friend's place, and me and him had a 3-day weekend where we did nothing but play the Ultimate Ninja game series, like play through the story of them, and watch Naruto, because that was the time of the finale. Because it was the three-part finale of Naruto versus Sasuke in the Final Valley.
Dude, I don't know about you, but I feel like so many people listening to this right now, if you're that deep into the podcast, are relating and are having images in their mind of them doing that with their friends. Because I did the same thing with Ben. Like I would sleep over mostly at his place because he had always had like the whole basement to himself, and he had all these games and all this stuff. I was like, "Oh, Mom, I love going to Ben's place. Why do you love to go to Ben so much?" And then she came by and saw like the 3 consoles. She's like, "Okay, this is why you like to go to Ben so much."
It's like, oh, you don't like Ben, you like his stuff.
And we watched so much Naruto together, and me and my little brother, we used to record the episodes on VHS, and we would rewatch them over and over and over and over. We're like, oh, it's gonna be the new episode this Friday, and what we would do is we would play it back, and we're like, oh, this is a really cool episode, this is really good, and
to
we
the point where your parents
so
are just
into
like,
it.
To the point where your parents are just like, just stop.
You see that out the window? That's the outside. Like, no, Mom. This is my life. I point the VCR.
This is my life. The outside is nothing. The outside is virtual. This is real.
Yeah.
Actually, funny enough, okay, this will just paint like what kind of character I am in the first place. So when Naruto and Sasuke hit with the Chidori and Rasengan, like when we saw that for the first time, that would be something that me and my friend at the time would do a lot of. Like I would charge up a Rasengan because Naruto was my favorite. He would do Chidori because Sasuke was his. And then we would just charge at each other and basically do like a long distance high five.
That's amazing.
Like we were like how deep you were into Yu-Gi-Oh, like getting all the cards and everything. We were, but we would just act like we were in the show. Like one other thing we did was like whenever I went to his place, we would always get a soda, and he would always get Voltage, like Mountain Dew Voltage, for Chakra, because it was like the closest to purple, like curse mark, and I would always get Code Red because it was the closest to Ninetales.
Okay, I see, but I understand you saying like I was super deep into Yu-Gi-Oh and into Naruto and stuff. Like I was so deep into Naruto to the point where I got my little brother, I got Ben, and I got a buddy of mine. Okay, and the 4 of us, we did a Naruto stick figure game, and we would all give each other a sheet of paper, and we're like, okay, write your character description, your 3 jutsus, here are your ranks, here are how many points you can have, and you can like choose if you want 5 of speed or 3 of strength and 2 of endurance, and we would do our own custom characters, and then we would integrate us in the Naruto universe, and we would do stick figure battles where we like we would draw an arena, and then we were like, okay, now you're fighting Kabuto, and then it would be like the 3 of us versus Kabuto, and we would do all this stupid stuff, and and I would draw Shidori, and then you would erase it, and then you would redraw it, and then you would erase it, and then you're doing like your own stick figure stuff, and we had so much fun with that. We played that for hours and hours and hours when we were kids. It was so much fun. Like, oh, Naruto had the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm realizing how big of an impact Naruto had on me. Honestly, maybe we could get more into this conversation, but Naruto is a big reason why this podcast even exists.
Yeah, because I was actually going to say that exact same thing. Like, I was trying to cut you off, but you kept going. But yeah, no, since it was our first episode and everything, it was like the first big anime that we all shared with each other. And if not for Naruto, like, I wouldn't have met you, or I wouldn't have started watching like the other shows I watched. Like before we met, like there were other shows that I started watching like until then. Like at that point, Kyo had shown me Soul Leader, which I fell in love with. I had finally actually gotten into Dragon Ball Z, so I knew all that. And I dove into the horrendous, long-winded, never gonna die world that is One Piece. So like I basically the shows that I knew were shonen, and that was it. Like I had some ecchi stuff that I did know about, but I couldn't remember the name of for the longest time. The only one I could was Rosario Vampire. So like I had some of these shows, but I had nowhere near as much as like I do now with you. Like if not for you, I probably never would have watched Your Name or Blood Sea as little as I've watched, or Terran Resonance. By the way, give me that time back. But But you get what I'm saying. Like it's weird that like we watched that many, and that it all kind of started from the one show that we had in common at the time.
No, I understand. Like for me, the podcast definitely started because of Naruto. Because when Kyo and I wanted to do a project, we were pitching ideas. I'm like, oh, everyone has and I had started Indecisive People Talk, an old podcast of mine. Back then, I'm like, oh, I know how to podcast, sort of. We can do it over Skype. We can figure that out. And then Kyo had a mic, so I was like, oh, let's talk about Naruto. It's like, because we were doing the Naruto abridged. Like, we were very immersed into Naruto. And when we started the podcast, and when you came in, I really felt like we started trading off anime ideas to each other. Oh, have you checked this out? Have you checked this out? And a lot of the series I've watched, I can pinpoint to the podcast, Yeah. Like, I really feel like Kill la Kill is a show I watched because of this podcast. And a show that I found it weird at some points, but a show I definitely now have on my anime list and enjoyed. It was very cool. It had a lot of great stuff to it. So that's like an awesome point from this podcast. Being able to spring off of each other and go and explore other series. I have so many ideas for episodes and stuff, and I really wanted to do like a part one where we talk about how we started, and then maybe later on what we watched a few years ago, and then one where we are now, like goes from Christmas past, goes from Christmas present, and goes of Christmas future kind of thing. You see what I mean? I could see something like that.
You got to replace Christmas with anime. Like if you're gonna go all the way.
Yeah.
Ghost of Anime Past, Ghost of Anime Present, so and so.
We could do that. Ghost of Anime Past. We'll call it. That'll be the title for this episode. Oh, Ghost of Anime Past. Kyo, thumbnail idea. But I just really am grateful for the different series we've been able to find for each other. So and this podcast is like the ultimate testament of that to me. Starting out with this, with you specifically, the first episode was like, oh, you're like, oh, I don't watch that many anime. I was like, video games, get your feet wet with what you know best. And with time, I don't know, like, do you feel like you've watched more anime because of this podcast? Like, how does this podcast impacted your anime consumption?
I feel like I've brought it out more towards anime because of this podcast. Like beforehand, like blah blah blah. If I just knew like Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball, like I probably wouldn't have minded all that much. Like I imagine I would have stumbled across like My Hero Academia at some point, just because like of how big it is and because of how much I'm into superheroes. But
right.
But shows like, say, like another superhero one that I probably wouldn't have found just because like its fame seems to have come and gone would have been One Punch. And there are
Yeah.
there are definitely like others that I more branched out to, like Attack on Titan. I probably owe like Data Live to it too, because I only knew Data Live by like the one character. But at the same time, it was just like another show for me to check out, and when I finally did, it turned into one of my favorite animes. So like
Right.
even if I wasn't like locked into the podcast, I probably would have found some of these shows just because of my taste, but I wouldn't have known that like a lot of these animes that are out actually have video games. I probably would have only connected the video games and not the anime. Like like Attack on Titan's video game, or Nekopara before it became an anime, or Neptunia before it had an anime. So like it at least like broadened my horizons to it, because some of these anime games are my favorite games. Like I love the Neptunia series, and it
Hmm.
has taken so much of my money. So much.
No, Neptunia is definitely one that you've brought up to me many times.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this, because we're talking about video games a little bit and stuff. How do you feel like anime is going to impact your live streaming now that you do that
Oh, it's gonna.
in terms of what you play?
It's gonna.
Yeah.
So in a couple points. One, for where I am right now, I'm playing what I want to play. Like if it happens to be popular, great. If not, oh well. But I do want to bring more of my anime games out into it. Like a lot of people are playing Senran Kagura, for example, right now, and I have no idea why, but I love it. So there are definitely games there I'm going to bring out. But at the same time, I'm also going down the route of being a VTuber, which a lot of them are anime based and anime styled.
Hmm.
Which I'm gonna go down that route towards me too. But at the same time, I'm gonna more be. It's kind of weird. Like I kind of want to go the route of like Western anime, if that makes sense. Like anime that's not entirely anime, like kind of like Teen Titans and Avatar, to where it's
I
very
get that.
clearly influenced by anime, but it's not 100% going all the way.
Right.
So
Right.
like
Right.
there's definitely influences that I want to take from that into my streaming. I just don't know how hog wild I'm going to go into it. There are definitely going to be
I
like
understand.
anime games I want to play though. Like there's a shit ton of stuff to do in my One Piece games that I haven't even touched on, and I
No,
can't
for
really
sure.
think of a better place to do that than streaming.
No, I totally understand that. And I feel like now that you're saying that, what it makes me realize is that childhood anime still impacts me to this day, you know?
Yeah.
I covered a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX song not too long ago. I have Naruto covers that I want to do. I've covered many Dragon Ball songs in the last few years. And those are all part of my childhood.
I mean,
The first time I heard Chala Head Chala,
Sorry.
I was a kid, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it still influences me too, because I mean, like one of my prized possessions that I actually have, and I say prized possession
Yeah.
even though I have no idea where it is. One of my most prized possessions that I have is the metal Pervy Sage headband for like a cosplay for Pervy Sage.
Nice.
And one
Nice.
thing that Kyo got me not too long ago, and by not too long ago, I mean like at most 2, maybe 3 months now, is the original Naruto jacket, like the one with blue and the white fuzzy collar. Like it's still very very influential and still means a lot to us as a whole, like animes we've grown up with. For me, the heaviest one of that is Naruto, and for you it's probably either Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball, but it still influences us in like what we like, what our choices are. Like one of my favorite things in Naruto was sexy jutsu, and here I am with all my ecchi shows.
No, I
So
understand. I mean,
so really,
the
like,
inspiration comes from where it comes.
Yeah. So like even if it's like the smallest inspiration, it still counts for something, and you still think about it even when you're older. That's how you know it's a show
For
that
sure.
stuck with you.
The other thing too, that now that I think about it, is that I feel like a reason why certain of like shows such as Naruto and Dragon Ball are still stuck with me, because I'll be honest, Yu-Gi-Oh is not as stuck with me as it used to be, and the big reason why is because these shows have continued. You know,
Yeah.
Dragon Ball, for example, Dragon Ball Super just announced a new movie for 2022. Which I'm so excited for. I can't wait for another Dragon Ball Super movie. Everyone's like, "Oh, what about the series?" I'm like, "Don't complain, because we have something. All I wanted was something." And apparently, if the spoilers are true, I'm not gonna say them here. I am very excited. And Naruto continues with Boruto, which is something I'm watching weekly. You know. And
Yeah.
side point on Boruto right now, we are at the best. Boruto is it's better than Naruto right now, in my opinion, than original Naruto. Like the episodes that are currently coming out right now, like the 199, 198, 200, those episodes. Oh, bro, they're so good. They are so good. I would just like watch them if I were you. Like, obviously, I know you will never watch them, but they're on point with the retrieval arc or tuning exams for me. Like, they really are.
I mean, honestly, at some point, I probably will break and like I know I've watched a little bit of Boruto. Like, I think I've watched like 2-3 episodes of it, and I just didn't get into it. I probably will break at some point and watch more of it. It's just it just I don't know if it's just like the building blocks of it just feel either really similar to me, or if I'm just like, I thought we were done. Why are we back? If I want to go back, I'll go back. Why are we doing it now? Like it just,
No, I understand.
It's really weird feelings for me. But that's just how I feel. But funny enough, I don't feel that way with Super. Like, yeah, Z was finished, but at the same time, when I started watching Super, I'm like, I love this. Meanwhile, Kyo was like, I don't love this. We had the like he feels the exact same way as Super as I do on Boruto, and yet Boruto he actually like started watching and is actually enjoying, and I just do not get it. He's the same way with Super.
I mean, the reason why I love Super, like one of the big reasons, is because it replaced GT, and anything that replaces GT is amazing
good.
in my books.
But I like GT.
Yeah, but you don't, because you actually haven't watched GT.
I have the box set.
Have you watched all of GT?
Yeah.
So wait, 1 sec. You watched all of GT, and you're telling me you liked it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
What? No. Okay, what's the final episode of GT?
I don't know. I watched it years ago.
Exactly. That's forgettable because you didn't enjoy it. If you liked it, you would remember.
If it was as memorable to me as the finale of Naruto, then yes.
Exactly.
But it wasn't.
I can't even remember it. So you could have made up the answer, and I would have agreed with you.
I don't remember the entirety of like the finale of Dragon Ball Z. Like, I don't remember hardly anything in the Buu saga.
I mean, if I say Spirit Bomb, would you agree that there was one in the Buu saga or not?
I mean, probably.
No, yes or no?
Probably. It's Goku's biggest move.
You see what I mean? There's hints of like, at least you remember the final villain, right? GT. Well, who was the final villain in GT?
Omega Shenron.
Oh man, I thought it was Baby. You see what I mean, though?
I see what you mean.
But
yeah.
Can we? Omega Shenron was not a villain. Omega Shenron was like a copy paste. The Dragon Balls are now evil, and Omega Shenron's a thing. Ugh. Come on, man. Come on.
To my credit, I watched it when I was a kid, and I enjoyed it because there were still fights.
But you can't tell me Omega Shenron's a good villain.
One image I will say, no, God, no. I will never say that. Even as a child, I would never say that.
Thank you.
But one of my favorite things from GT to this day, and I will stick to this, is Dragon Fisting Super 17 and then disintegrating him with a Kamehameha.
Okay, that is a cool point. I agree. That was probably the only good thing in GT.
And I have a soft spot for Super Saiyan 4. I don't know why, I just do. But only Goku. Vegeta's is fucking stupid.
Bulma, shoot me with this beam. Bruh.
I'm a Super Saiyan 4 now. Yeah, no, you didn't fucking earn it.
Oh my gosh. We kind of got a Dragon Ball talk here, but another thing on Dragon Ball, Super Dragon Ball Heroes is such a ridiculous series. Did you know they have a golden cooler in there, man?
Wait, Super Dragon Ball Heroes?
Yeah, I've talked about this before with you. It's a ONA that's currently airing one episode every like 3 to 4 weeks, and it's basically all of the Dragon Ball universes pull into one, right? And it's based off this card game. It's promoting a Dragon Ball card game.
Yeah, and I know the card game. That's why I was like, wait, what? Because the card game's also on Switch.
Yeah.
So like I know it there.
But there's a series there's a series promoting it, and they have like random characters that come in, such as Golden Cooler, which when I saw that I was like, excuse me? What's going on?
You're like,
here?
Okay, we're in trouble. Mainly you just say, okay, we're in trouble because you're like, okay, this is too cool and it shouldn't be. Perfect.
I asked out of habit. I asked out of like,
no, I know you're good. You're good.
So yeah, like they had a Golden Cooler, bro. Golden Cooler. Really? I mean, I understand it's a possibility, but when I saw that, I was like, no, that's like a fanfic. That shouldn't be a real thing, you know? Maybe I'm being I'm probably being a little close-minded here, but
But at the same
All
time,
this to say that
maybe he just did what Frieza did. Maybe he trained for a day and unlocked it.
No,
That's still such a fucking dumbass decision in my eyes. Like, I never trained a day in my life. Trains for a day, unlocks super form. Well, fuck.
And now I'm gonna go fight Goku because he definitely didn't get stronger. Oh, he got way stronger. Oh man.
Maybe there is something to this training. How long until we get Platinum Frieza, Diamond Frieza?
You know what? At this point, I feel like
Onyx
we've gone
Frieza.
over the whole. Wait. We've gone over the whole Origins thing. I think we're good on that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Quick thing on Frieza and stuff, and then we can maybe start wrapping things up.
Yeah.
I got Xenoverse too, and I made myself a Frieza, and I am loving it so much. It's a great game.
I'm biased. I stayed with Saiyan. I just need Super Saiyan on my power wheel.
I called my buddy Morgan up, someone I wanted to get on the podcast eventually, and I hadn't talked to him in like a month or something, and I have this super serious voice on the phone. I'm like, Morgan, I have a very, very important question for you. He's like, oh my god, what's up, man? Are you okay? I'm like, okay, should I be a Saiyan, an Earthling, a Frieza race? And he's like, oh my god, really?
Like Frieza race, fuck.
Yeah,
I think.
But yeah,
I think Kyo's first character was a Namekian.
Oh really?
I think so. I could be wrong, but me and him are in agreement to where like a cool DLC or like a cool thing for like Xenoverse 3, if that's ever a thing, would be Android for a race. Like imagine Android like 16, where like you take off like your arms for Hellblast Cannon or something like that. Like you're actually robotic.
That would be amazing. But talking about DLCs and androids, Kakarot is coming out with its final DLC very soon.
And I know you're excited about that.
Oh, dude, aren't you excited too? Though, I'm not alone on this boat. I'm looking on my left.
I am excited.
I see you.
I am excited. It's just the fact that like I'm not where you are. My guys aren't at level 300. I'm in the middle of a grind fest to try and like get them that way. And now I'm just like, I really don't care about Vegeta. I just want Goku.
Bro, I bet you my Chaozu beats your Goku right now. That's how much it
does.
Bro.
It does because you said everyone's at 300, and I looked at my Goku. He's at like 118, I think, right now. I'm like, well, I'm getting buried by a Chaozu.
Think about it this way: when I collect orbs now, they don't mean anything to me.
Oh, they haven't
because I maxed out.
They haven't meant anything to me in a long time. I have like so many.
But like, I literally cannot use orbs anymore because I've maxed out everything.
No, okay. I can still use mine, but like the amount that I have is just like. And that's gonna eventually just be locked in. I never collected the orbs. I always just either go looking for quests or fights.
One thing, and this is the first time it's ever gonna happen on the podcast. I'm gonna give you advice on the video game, but you can never have too many D medals. That's one thing I learned. D medals in Kakarot. I mean, whenever you see one, even if you're flying by it, drop down and grab it. You never have enough of those. Like when I was finished, I needed a bunch more.
I love how you think that that's advice and not something I already knew.
I love this game so much. I mean, I'm sorry, but I feel like if we had to do like a quiz on Kakarot, me versus you, I would absolutely
win. You'd win easily.
I put 60 hours into this thing, bro.
Yeah, I just have other games.
I just have a life.
No, I don't have that. I just have other games. I will never tell you I have a life.
Is there anything else we would bring up? I think we're good. I think it's gonna be a shorter episode.
I thought you said anything else we'd like to say. I'm like, yes, goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. No, but in all seriousness, is there anything else you want to bring up?
Yeah, no, I got nothing. We started going off on a Dragon Ball tangent there.
All right, so this was Ghost of Anime Past episode. Are we sticking with that or not?
No, we'll come up with something else. This was our Origins episode. We'll come up with a name later. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. All right.
It was episode 109. That's what people remember it for. 109.
I'm going to call this episode 109. That's going to be Anime Podcasters 109, episode 109.
There you go.
Just to confirm the episode number. No, okay. In all seriousness, the artwork for Anime Podcasters is by GoProKyo. He does all of the artwork for the show. He's super amazing, has amazing affordable rates, and he works efficiently and quickly. Go check out his website. We're linked in the description of all these podcasts. If you're listening to this, wherever you are, make sure you go give him a follow. It's the least you can do for him because he works so hard and he's just an amazing artist. You can follow the podcast at Anime Podcasters on Facebook. We post the video versions of the podcast on there. You can also follow the podcast on your favorite podcatcher. I bet you can. If there's a podcast platform that you listen, whatever your podcasts are on, you will find us. Guaranteed. I have scoured the entire internet, and I'm guaranteeing you guys that our podcast is on all platforms. And then you can also subscribe on youtube.com/JaianMusic to support my stuff. Go on JaianMusic.com if you want to hire me for audio services. And that's going to be it for me. Oh, also, rate this podcast.com/anime podcasters if you want to give us a 5-star review. We appreciate that. And you can go on speakpipe.com/anime podcasters to leave us a voicemail. All right. What about you, Hotshot? What's good?
All right. You guys can go ahead and find me right here on JaianMusic's channel and on the Anime Podcasters, wherever we may be. Apparently, I'm everywhere at once because I am a god. And you guys can also find me.
You're not a fan of Death Note, but you're making light Yagami lines? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And you like GT?
Yeah. I'm just using the same soundbite.
I'm just gonna copy paste the same over and over.
Yeah. See? Gave you another reason. You guys can also find me over on my channel, Hotshot Ginger, over here on YouTube. And you guys can, which unfortunately has taken a little bit of a backseat because I'm actually focusing over on my other platform. You guys can find me over on Twitch on Hotshot Ginger, where I have finally started streaming my games, and I am going down the path to becoming a VTuber. So hopefully that comes to fruition fairly soon. And you guys can find me over on Twitter at Hotshot Ginger. I changed it originally from Caution. If you guys are using Caution, it will not work. It is Hotshot Ginger now. Keep that in mind.
Did you make an old account to relink your Twitter?
I did not because I forgot.
Bro, you got to get on that.
I know.
And guys, go on twitch.tv/hotshotginger. Like, it's linked in the description for a reason. Go give him a follow. Let's boost his numbers. I'm so happy and proud of you. And his streams are actually very entertaining. I leave them in the background whenever I'm in my room and I see his live. I get my notifications. So go support him. I mean, he's following his passion and his dreams, and I'm so proud of him and so happy for him for that. So please go give him a follow and go support him. And bro, you need a donation link, bro. I need to. I'm always like, oh, I might donate, and then I don't see a donation box. You need to set that up.
I can't yet. I got to be in an act. I think I got to be an acolyte first. So I got to get like one level up on my channel, and then I can.
Oh really? Because I know on mine I can get donations, and I never stream.
I'm not sure. I might have to look into it.
Yeah, look into it. Because I would like to give you money. I mean, unless you don't want my money.
No, I'll happily take it.
Thank you so much for coming on and listening to us for this episode. So for myself, Hotshot, and everybody else at Anime Podcasters, this has been another episode of
and Anime Podcasters.
Come on, give it to me for real.
Anime Podcaster. That went way over 6.
Yeah, go give it to me again, but under. No, I'm kidding. Bye, guys.
Anime Podcasters. Bye.